أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. My apologies this evening that I was not able to join you because of some scheduling issues. Inshallah, I'll be able to join you later. But nonetheless, our program for tafsir continues, and inshallah, today we'll be reciting from Surah al-Nisa, the last verse of Surah al-Nisa, which is verse number 176, and the first two verses of Surah al-Maidah, verse number 1 and verse number 2. So whilst you are opening your Quran and turning it to the right page, and again that's the last verse of Surah An-Nisa, verse 176, I'll tell you a little more about Surah Al-Maidah. Surah Al-Maidah, it is said, is one of the last surahs of the Quran to be revealed. According to some of our ahadith, it was revealed during the time of Hajjatul Wida, or according to some of our ahadith, it was revealed in the last 2 to 3 months of the Prophet's life. Although it is a surah which is known as a Madani surah, some of its verses were revealed in Mecca itself during the time of Hajjatul Wida. And therefore you will find that the first few verses actually talk about the manasik of Hajj and what is permissible and what is not permissible. This surah is also important because it is a surah which is known to be a nasikh surah. So if you ever find another ruling in any other part of the Quran that is contradicted by a ruling in this surah, then that ruling which you find in this surah will abrogate all the other rulings that came before it as well. So let us start with the recitation, and inshallah I will comment a little more on it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يستفتونك قل الله يفتيكم في الكلالة إن امرؤ هلك ليس له ولد وله أخت فلها نصف ما ترك وهو يرثها إن لم يكن لها ولد فإن كانت اثنتين فلهما الثلثان مما ترك وإن كانوا إخوة رجالا ونساء فللذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين يبين الله لكم أن تضلوا والله بكل شيء عليم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا أوفوا بالعقود أحلت لكم بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم غير محل الصيد وأنتم حرم إن الله يحكم ما يريد يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تحلوا شعائر الله ولا الشهر الحرام ولا الهدي ولا القلائد ولا آمين البيت الحرام يبتغون فضلا من ربهم ورضوانا وإذا حللتم فاصطادوا ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم أن صدوكم عن المسجد الحرام أن تعتدوا وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان واتقوا الله إن الله شديد العقاب صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We first look at the last verse of Surah An-Nisa. You remember that in the beginning of Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started to talk about the rights of women. And amongst the first rights that He talked about was her right to inheritance. And the last verse of the surah also again talks about the rights of women and a woman's right to inheritance. So it would seem that the Quran was having its desired impact upon the people of Arabia. In the beginning of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows a lot of sensitivity towards the rights of women, especially their rights to inheritance. And it seems that the people of Arabia have understood that this is something which is important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, when an issue arose where it pertained to the right of a woman, in the past, before the coming of Islam, they may not even have thought twice about it. They may not even have considered that woman's right. But in this case, Islam has developed them. Islam has nurtured them. And therefore, when this issue came up, they came and asked the Prophet of Allah immediately. How do we know that? Because the verse opens up with وَيَسْتَفْتُونَكَ. They come to you seeking a fatwa. A fatwa in respect to what? In respect to kalala. What's a kalala? Sometimes a man would pass away and he would not leave behind any children and he would not leave behind any parents. So you know, as long as they are children and they are parents, then they will be the one to inherit from him. But there are no children, there are no parents. And it so happens that sometimes there are no brothers either. There's only one sister, or there are a few sisters. In the case where there is one sister or a few sisters, this is an example of kalala. They are kalala. Do they inherit from him or no? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلِ اللَّهُ يُفْتِيكُمْ فِي الْكَلَالَةِ. What the Prophet is telling you is the fatwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنِ امْرُؤٌ هَلَكَ. If a man were to pass away, لَيْسَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ. He has no son, he has no children, and he has no parents either. It is understood from this verse. وَلَهُ أُخْتٌ. And he has one sister. Does she get something or not? فَلَهَا نِصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ. To her belongs half of what he has left behind. وَهُوَ يَرِثُهَا إِن لَّمْ يَكُن لَّهَا وَلَدٌ. And now let's say instead of him passing away, she passes away. And she has no children, and her parents are not there either. They have passed away as well. Will he inherit from her? Yes, he will inherit everything from her. In the case that this man passes away and he has two sisters instead of one, will they both inherit from him? And the answer is yes. Not only will they both inherit half of his estate, they will actually inherit اثنتين, 2/3 of his estate. فَلَهُمَا الثُّلُثَانِ. If they are اثنتين, they are two. فَلَهُمَا الثُّلُثَانِ مِمَّا تَرَكَ. They will take 2/3 of what he has left behind, 1/3 for each of them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if one of them passes away and he has brothers and sisters. By the way, what I did not point out here is that kalala refers to a person's sister or his siblings from both the same mother and father or from the same father. In this case, for example, if he leaves behind brothers and sisters, فَلِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. The brothers will get twice of what the sisters get, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained this for us in the Quran. Now we begin with Surah al-Maidah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the believers with a very important address. He says, O those who believe, أَوْفُوا بِالْعُقُودِ. Fulfill your covenants, fulfill your pledges. When you make a